Hello again, everyone. I know it's been a while, but I'm back and I'm going to try and be more regular with these videos and blogs. I've been falling behind. Sorry about that. Work happens. I've been very, very busy trying to get caught up on some other things and some other orders of business, but I'm going to make a concentrated effort to get these videos out a little bit more regularly. I've been on hiatus for a while. Again, I apologize. I am probably close to 10 churches behind. I've been attending the churches, but haven't been writing up the blog. I've got plenty of notes. I just need to find a way to sit down and share them all with you. Recently just received a huge shock to my system. Last week, Chad and I attended the Faith Baptist Church. It was a bit nostalgic and not quite the homecoming I was expecting to my home Baptist church. Many of you who have read the blog or parts of the blog have maybe picked up that I was brought up LDS. That was my prominent religion, my prominent faith growing up as a youth, back before I knew what religion was, and that, there were different religions that believed different things. So it was just kind of largely I just go here because that's where my parents go. So on my dad's weekends, I would attend with him the Faith Baptist Church in Layton. And boy, did I have no idea what I was doing. It's as I was doing some research on the church, I came to understand that Faith Baptist Church is a young earth creationist, biblical literalist, ultra-conservative Southern Baptist church. They believe in a 6,000-year-old earth. They believe that the universe was created in 6 literal 24-hour days. And I attended this church every other weekend for many years of my childhood. So a few things are starting to make sense. They are very anti-abortion. They are ultra-conservative, socially conservative, and politically conservative. And they did not shy away from bringing up hot topics and political issues in church. So that concerned me a little bit. So yeah, there was just a lot of problems I had with this church. Like during this entire project, I can't remember a service where I felt more disgusted and shocked. Like I really didn't know what to think. I was speechless through the whole thing. I just kind of felt like I can't believe this has been a part of my life, and I didn't realize it. I used to think that it was, just a fun church to go to. I liked going to this one a lot more than the Mormon churches because this was more interactive, and there was usually a potluck or something after the service. You get to stand up and clap and sing. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun going to this church as a kid, but that was because I didn't understand what these guys were talking about. But now that I am all grown up and I can think a little bit more critically and try to listen and understand what these people are talking about, I was very, very concerned with what I was hearing. So, the usual messages in ultra-conservative churches. He was saying he was going into life is sacred, right? It's a gift from God, and it's not just to be thrown away or thrown around. And you know what? That's a message I can get behind, right? You've got one life. Live it the best you can. Be a good person and help others. That I can get behind. But then, he went a little further and said you should give this life to God. Your life should be about furthering and expanding God's kingdom and serving Him. I'm like, okay, well, that's no different than a lot of other services I've heard. And then, just kind of out of nowhere, he brought up the abortion issue. Life is sacred. It's nobody's right to pull babies out of their mother and kill them. I'm like, at that point, Chad and I are just kind of sitting there in the pews going, what? Yeah, so he went on this huge anti-abortion rant. Um, that was interesting. And then he went on with the slippery slope argument. First, you're killing babies, and then before you know it, they're going to be killing old people. And there were actually quite a few elderly people in that audience. So that was definitely a rally cry right there. Um, he also brought up sex, and he wasn't real discreet about it. He wasn't real modest about it. He went into very graphic explanations as to what constitutes actual sexual, uh, well, like what is a sexual act. Basically, it was no masturbating. That's just as bad as intercourse before marriage. If you masturbate, if you touch yourself sexually, if you see somebody else touch themselves sexually, if you watch pornography, um, anything done in a sexual manner is just the same as sexual intercourse, and you dishonor yourself, you dishonor your future spouse, and you dishonor God. So now a lot of my childhood makes sense, especially through junior high and high school. Going through puberty, when you are told that you are not even dirt on God's sandals, it's very hard to kindle a relationship. And that would explain a lot of the intimacy issues and things that a lot of people have that are closely affiliated with these churches. I mean, I myself had a lot of guilt growing up, especially through puberty. I didn't know what was going on. So if you get all your sex advice from an ultra-conservative church, you're gonna have some difficulties. You're gonna have some troubles through high school and dating. Your dating life's gonna suck. So next order of business, he brought up, well, the usual anecdotal stories about how he miraculously found a troubled youth and converted him in a bowling alley, and then they went out for a drive together and had a grand old time, trying to appeal to the young audience. Let's see, another message, pray for your friends, because if you pray for your friends, you yourself will also receive blessings. In this case, he was talking about Israel. Pray for Israel and the conflict going on over there in the Middle East. Okay, I don't know much about political science, but it does sound a little bit selfish to just pray for your friends, pray for somebody else, in hopes that you yourself will receive blessings. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And then he went on to say that one of the biggest problems in our nation is that people aren't considering what they consider sacred holy. So he brought up the verse in Matthew that goes something along the lines of, cast not your pearls unto swine, and not what you consider holy unto dogs. He said there's non-believers all around us, and that they will try and take what you consider holy and use it against you. They will turn on you and try to destroy you. So there's the victimized, persecuted Christian complex that they like to push. And then he was implying that Christians are a persecuted minority here in the United States, and almost concussion with the facepalm that I had there in the pew. I hope I wasn't drawing too much attention to myself, but I was pretty uncomfortable in there. So yeah, basically the biggest problem with the States is people aren't considering these things holy anymore, and they are falling away from God. So that's a lot worse than homelessness and poverty and disproportionate wealth and all that stuff. It's people aren't taking religion seriously. Okay. Yeah. Another thing that really upset me is, if you're going to discuss religion, if you're going to discuss doctrine, if you're going to talk about what you believe, in church, that's a great place to do it. But do not try to pretend that you understand science. Pastor was up there talking about the origins of the universe. He's like, we've got hundreds of stars in our galaxy, thousands of stars. Well, a lot more than that, but anyway. He's obviously not, taking any classes on the subject, so he'll say thousands. And then he's like, we've got billions of galaxies and our universe. And I'm like, okay, he's getting closer. All right, maybe he's not as ignorant as I thought. So the universe, one, verse. God spoke the universe into existence with a single word. And I'm like, okay, I can't take this anymore. Leave science out of church, please, unless you're going to educate what is actually being taught in, credible sources. Like if you're going to bring in a publication from Science or Nature and you want to discuss that, you know what, that's great. But try to know what you're talking about before you decide to just go ahead and spit this stuff out in front of an audience. It's going to believe whatever you say, no matter what. You could say, 1 + 2 = 5, or I don't know. It just really grinds my gears when people come into a church. They stand before an audience and then they are pretty much pissing on the work of actual scientists that have dedicated their lives to this field or discipline. So I think that's one of the problems with this country is the scientific illiteracy. Now listen, I'm not an astrophysicist. Okay, I got my degree in zoology, right? So I study animals. I study biology. I like things that move. I like warm, fluffy, cuddly things that you can hug. I like learning what makes things tick. I'm not the authority on space, but for one, I think he did a great disservice to his congregation by bastardizing and minimalizing the true wonder that is our universe. I think you don't need a God to make it more interesting. You don't need a deity. You don't need doctrine or dogma to appreciate just how vast and mysterious and amazing our universe is. Like, there are a lot of things out there to be discovered, and just because we don't have an answer yet doesn't mean we won't in the future. But you're not doing yourself any favors by inserting God into the little gaps. So there's my rant. Anyway, I did not enjoy the service at all. It was, I thought, very abhorrent and just disgusting. But, this is what they believe. It's their right to believe the way they believe. I don't agree with it, but, live and let live. That's what this project's all about. I want to know what people believe. And I just got a huge shock to my system, and it was a huge wake-up call for me. So the videos ran a little bit longer than I was intending. I apologize, but I'm going to try and be more regular with these, try and get them out to you, and I'm going to try to make a goal to have the videos under 5 minutes if I can, because a lot of people don't have 13 minutes to sit around and just watch me yammer on about crap. So, yeah, I'm going to try and stay more up to date on my blog, probably throw in more videos. And like I said, I've got a lot of catching up to do again, guys. Sorry I've been out of commission for so long. I know some of you look forward to these. Why? I don't know. But yeah, look forward to some more in the future. I'm going to try and sit down and get a few done, and then just release them regularly as I can. Anyway, have a awesome day. Peace be with you and all that, and have a good one.